I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks. This and that, speaking slow, speaking fast.
How do you write a story where the villains wear the crisp, clean uniforms of civilization and the heroes, well, the heroes are the chaotic monsters of the sea? It completely flips the traditional script. It forces us as the audience to actively root for the messy, wild rebels and actively root against the cold, unfeeling march of order in progress.
So, let's move right into part 1, setting those ultimate stakes.
Because for a story like this to actually work, the stakes literally have to be massive. This dynamic right here, this is the thematic engine running the whole show. On one side, you've got Lord Cutler Beckett. He's sipping his tea on a polished balcony, looking at the entire world as nothing more than a messy ledger that needs to be categorized and monetized. And on the flip side, we have the pirates. They represent pure chaos, ancient calls, and absolute defiance. It's this ruthless, calculated capitalism, constantly slamming against the wild, untamable freedom of the sea. And to fight that massive machine, the pirates desperately need their leaders, the Brethren Court. It's just seamless world building here. The writer explains exactly why the pirates can't just band together and fight back immediately. Their lords are scattered, they're terrified. They have to be summoned by that exact same song we heard at the beginning if they want to have even a sliver of a chance at survival.
Which leads us to part 2, crossing the narrative threshold.
To keep us hooked, the narrative essentially has to shove its characters off the edge of the map into the great unknown. Just look at this step-by-step progression to Davy Jones' locker. It is wildly imaginative. We go from the stifling, bloody steam of Singapore straight into the towering, bone-chilling frost of the Arctic, plunge over an infinite cosmic waterfall, and then we wake up in a completely silent white salt desert. By grounding this bizarre, surreal world-building into digestible, escalating sensory beats, the writer keeps us perfectly anchored, even as reality is quite literally falling apart around the characters.
And Barbossa's manic dialogue here, it perfectly justifies the weird, dreamlike logic of this new reality. It proves a crucial point about storytelling. Sometimes, to take the audience somewhere entirely new and unexpected, you have to deliberately break the fundamental rules of reality. Of course, to escape this surreal purgatory, the characters have to solve a riddle. Up is down. Jack Sparrow's frantic realization that the clue isn't a compass direction but a literal physical state is a masterclass in puzzle design. It perfectly illustrates how writers can use clever environmental puzzles to let character flaws and eccentricities, like Jack just running wildly back and forth across the deck of a ship, drive the plot forward in an entirely organic way.
Okay, moving into part 3, the engine of escalation.
Because once everybody is back in the land of the living, the story just hits the gas. It instantly ramps up the tension through this tangled matrix of selfish, overlapping character motivations. Will wants the pearl to save his dad. Sao Feng wants the charts to save his own skin. Jack wants Davy Jones's heart so he can live forever. And Beckett wants the court to destroy piracy once and for all. It creates this relentless, inescapable narrative tension. It practically guarantees betrayal because literally nobody's goals align. Right in the middle of all this scheming, the story introduces the pieces of 8. Dealing with this heavy exposition quickly is absolutely crucial because it allows the narrative to drop a literal ticking time bomb into the mix. I'm talking about Calypso, a furious, ancient sea goddess trapped in human form. Suddenly, we're elevated from a simple naval war to a full-blown mythological crisis. And here is the direct, messy fallout of that tangled web of motivations. These rapid-fire double crosses keep you guessing at literally every single turn. But narratively, what this is really doing is stripping away allies and options. It ensures that our heroes are forced into their absolute lowest point right before the final battle kicks off. Which brings us to part 4, executing the climax. With the betrayals locked in, the pacing accelerates into pure, unadulterated chaos. Enter the maelstrom. The sensory language used to describe this sequence is just staggering. You've got massive galleons tilting at 45-degree angles on the lip of a giant whirlpool, blinding sheets of rain, the deafening roar of the vortex.
It creates this unforgettable, highly dynamic arena for the final confrontation. It's not just a battle taking place on the water itself has become a weapon.
Now, right in the middle of this deafening chaos, we get a wedding. I mean, Will and Elizabeth parrying cutlasses and screaming their vows over the storm, while Barbossa officiates while violently steering a massive ship wheel. Integrating this huge emotional and romantic payoff directly into a high-stakes sword fight, it is an absolute masterstroke of narrative multitasking. It keeps the action completely furious while delivering deep, satisfying character moments. But a climax of this scale demands a heavy toll. Will is mortally wounded by Davy Jones. And here, we get the ultimate sacrifice. Jack Sparrow, a guy who has spent the entire story scheming to stab the heart himself so he can live forever, hesitates. He sacrifices his ultimate selfish desire to save Will's life, forcing Will's hand to stab the heart instead. It completely subverts everything we've come to expect from this self-serving rogue, cementing a massive moment of character growth. And that directly sets up the big turn. The Flying Dutchman, completely clean of barnacles, sporting brilliant white sails, reaches the surface, now commanded by Captain Will Turner. The narrative pivots perfectly here. It takes the most feared, cursed ship in the entire ocean and transforms it into the exact weapon of salvation that's going to save our protagonists. Faced with this entirely untamable reality, Beckett just freezes, as his pristine ship is literally ripped apart by the combined might of the Pearl and the Dutchman. He just stares ahead and mutters, "It's just good business." It perfectly captures the total psychological collapse of his worldview. The wild, chaotic ocean and the men who refuse to die have finally decisively defeated the meticulously ordered, emotionless ledger. Finally, Part 5, The Cost of Freedom. The war is won, right? But a truly great story doesn't just end on a loud explosion. We have to slow down for this bittersweet resolution. They get one single sun-drenched day ashore. Then, a brilliant green flash at sunset as Will crosses over, and 10 incredibly long years of duty before he can ever return. This beautifully grounds the immense emotional weight of their triumph, reminding us that in a masterful story, a true narrative payoff requires profound, lasting sacrifice. But, we can't leave on pure heartbreak. Injecting a little bit of tasteful humor at the very end brings us right back to the core personality of the story. Barbossa unrolls his map, fully intending to find the Fountain of Youth, only to discover the center is completely cut out, replaced by a cheeky little stick figure wearing a tricorn hat. It's the perfect way to show us that Jack Sparrow is, and always will be, one step ahead of everyone else. Which leads us to Jack. We find him in a tiny canvas dinghy with a patched-up sail and a compass that doesn't point north. He hums that famous tune, adjusts his hat, and just sails out into the great unknown. It leaves us, the audience, with this incredibly sensory feeling of boundless, untethered freedom. He has no crew, he has no gold, but he has the entire horizon. Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought to chew on. Why are open-ended conclusions like this so absolutely essential to cementing the enduring myth of a great character? Well, consider how leaving Jack with literally nothing but a tiny dinghy and an open ocean ensures his story lives on in our imaginations long, long after this explainer ends. It is the ultimate storytelling trick. By deliberately not finishing the narrative, you ensure the audience never stops telling it,